Batter my heart, three-person God. For you as yet but not breathe, shine, and seek to mend, that I may rise and stand, o'erthrow me, and bend your force to break, blow, burn, and make me new. Emotional content should be felt primarily in the poem's rhythm, and that is nowhere truer than in these crucial opening lines. The investiture here is so metrically vivid, in fact, that as an exercise one can change a single foot and, in effect, ruin the poem. It's a game I actually like to play with students. Let's ruin the poem. Try it. One little thing, ruin the poem. One can, for example, in a thought experiment verging on pure perversion, envision a nightmare poetry workshop where the well-meaning but rather conservative group finds the first word of Donne's poem offensive. It requires a synonym, they suggest, something less volatile, molest, or even softer, unlock. Either word, of course, will ruin the poem by removing the physicality of batter, which expresses the speaker's emotional state with uncompromising passion. The real problem, however, is that the first foot of the poem has been altered from trochaic to iambic. This reversal of metrical polarity effectively alters the rhythm of nearly every foot and all four lines that follow. Molest my heart, three-person God, for you. Changes Donne's impassioned speech to the metronomic claptrap of a robot with a personality disorder. Donne's initial foot, combined, of course, with the physical and total energies of the word batter, has the effect of springing the rhythm of the first line and the lines that follow. The syllables heart, three, per all carry stresses with Donne's trochaic opening, as therefore do the syllables knock, breathe, shine, and finally break, blow, burn. A pattern of three stresses in a row that tune the poem to the three-person God and to God's begged-for action upon the soul by the soul that is enthralled to all that is not God. Change the first trochee and you change the entire electrical charge and temperature of the poem. There is an iambic backbeat to these lines as to the whole poem, but this single initial move conditions the lines for maximum dramatic expression, maximum intensity. The disruptive force of o'erthrow me in the third line after the caesura gains still greater energy because of it, and the torque one feels in the enjambment and bend your force carries an even more vital charge. Why? It is because the metrical charge of the word batter flicks a kind of switch that engages the poem's emotional warp drive. One could track Donne's complex metrical scheme throughout the rest of Holy Sonnet 14. For example, the pattern of trochaic substitutions in the front foot of certain lines. But suffice it to say that Donne's investiture in this area has supercharged the poem with passionate speech. What about his use of metaphor and simile? The poem's entire conceit of the soul as a captive to its own passions and thus to God's enemy of the soul, therefore as gender and female, originates in a long contemplative tradition practiced by both men and women and hearkening back to the biblical Song of Songs. The metaphoric pattern, somewhat altered, also has non-Christian associations. God descending from on high to rape human women is standard fare in Ovid, though Donne's vividly physical renderings of the pattern in this poem remain spiritually inflected. Yet it is no less intense for being so. In fact, the violence of the soul's petition to be ravished, to be subsumed in spiritual ecstasy, in mystical union, increases its strangeness and its power because of those disruptively antithetical echoes that lie outside the tradition of Western contemplation.